Hi guys, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the writing resources, okay? So it's again going to be in many parts. So this is the first part and it is the introduction to all the videos that I'm going to share with you. So just make sure that you follow every video part by part, otherwise you might miss on few things that I might have said in the previous part. So it took a lot of time for me to do the research work, okay? And I was ready, say, 6 months back too, but I was still looking out for clues from other people, you know, because I wanted to make the best video, so that it doesn't miss out other things that I might end up finding later on. So that is why there was a delay in posting. But when we will start our own writing workshop, I'll be updating that through the Insta story. So it's going to be really beneficial from both sides. As in, when I share something, I'll get your feedback and then, I'll improve on those points. So before I start, I really want to tell you like what is the first step to writing. And yes, I know a lot of you know the answer, and that's reading. So it's a step by step process that I always say that when the child is born, then you have to do this, blah blah blah, then you have to introduce them to the art of reading. And once your child reads well, because if you are the person who is looking after this department of teaching the child, then you have so many subjects to look after, right? And it becomes very difficult for us to do so many things together. So what I feel and what I have adopted is like, once I master, as in once my child masters one skill, then I move on to the next skill. So right now I feel that she can read well, so I'm giving her like quite tricky books these days, like which has more phrasal verbs, more complex sentences, difficult vocabulary, very difficult to comprehend. So I'm giving her those books because I feel that if I want to accelerate her reading, if I want to accelerate her comprehension skills, I have to challenge her with difficult text. So this is what I am doing. So now that I am like comfortable and I'm like sorted from the reading part, I will move on to the writing part. And now she's like 6.5 right now, and writing starts from, say, when your child is 5, 4.5. So it starts at different ages, so it depends when you want to start. I'm going to guide you everything how you can start it as early when your child is 4.5. And if you say you haven't started yet and your child is 7 or 8, how one should do that. Because it doesn't really matter if you do something really early. What matters is the quality, right? So and the right approach. That's what I feel. So without me talking more on this topic, I want to move on to the next one. So writing, how can we encourage a child to write, because it's such a daunting task. It might be an overwhelming process for some kids, and some kids might like to write pages and pages, so it depends from child to child and depends on which child you have with you, right? So whatever teaching strategies that I share will not be applicable to every child, because some kids have a high IQ, some kids have an average IQ, and my child has a normal IQ, and I'm working on it because I feel that the more we challenge them, the brain develops. So that's what I have seen, and I'm so confident about it because I can see the progress. So, coming back to writing, suppose you want to start it when your child is 4.5. So, the first step to writing is drawing. If your child likes to scribble and draw and express his or her emotions, that would be wonderful for you to begin with the writing workshop. Okay, so you just ask your child to draw things that the child wants to draw and ask the child to label. So, the first process of writing would be describing and labeling things. That is something that you can expect a 4.5-year-old to do, right? And then like the first step is labeling, and then gradually your child will start writing sentences. I am gonna show how we moved on to the writing thing, and I would say that this has come out really natural to my daughter because because of the books that we read and the things that we do, she really likes to express herself in words through writing. So books have actually encouraged her a lot. Okay, so when your child starts writing sentences, I'm going to show you exactly how it is done. Post that, you begin with paragraph, okay, and then like then the story starts, and then you have so many other things to do. So when we say writing, what exactly do I mean by writing? Because there's so many different genres that we need to work on, right? Fiction, non-fiction, and poetry, right? So one should before teaching, one should actually understand what we have to do and what are the different areas that we need to work on. So for example, if I tell you about fiction, the child will have to write a story, a fiction story, and the child can even write a fiction poetry, right? Because poetry can be either, I think mostly it's a fictional part because it doesn't make sense. And then comes the non-fiction part. So in non-fiction part, you have paragraph writing, you have autobiographies, you have biographies, and you have instructional writing, sequential writings, so many things there. But before this, you have to teach your child to be descriptive about their writing, and what do I mean by that is, when you write a sentence, when the child writes a sentence, he or she should feel what he's writing. In this sentence, for example, I saw a lizard, is a simple sentence, but to make it more interesting, we have to ask the child to describe, So I saw a green, uh, big and slimy object, a slimy creature, something like that, and that was on the wall. So, how was it? Where was it? And what do you like about it? When did you saw that? When did you see that? So this actually elaborates the writing. It stretches the sentences. So this is something that you have to teach the child. Okay, so first, when your child starts writing sentences, then you have to teach them to write descriptive sentences, okay? That can be either through poetry writing, because as I told you, like I had actually introduced in acrostic and five senses poems. So when your child writes five senses poem, it actually helps your child to be more descriptive in their writing, and this art will help them in future when they're writing sentences or other things. So after descriptive writing, you have to begin with the writing workshop, and in between the writing workshop you have to take mini lessons. And why am I using all these terminologies? Because of the book that I actually this might be like a mirror image for use, but it says How to Teach Kids to Write, and it's by Anna Giger, The Measured Mom. And this book really helped me a lot, and now I'm sorted. Exactly, it tells you how to start and what are the different things that we have to do. I'm going to give you a brief on this book too. Okay, so so after descriptive writing, you can just start with your writing workshop, and in between I would really emphasize on figurative language. We have to teach the child figurative language. I understand that when the child reads a number of books, it comes really natural to the child, using all these metaphors, similes, and so on. But if we teach it separately to the child, it enhances their writing. For example, I jumped out of skin. These phrases they might have read in their normal book, like in the regular book. But if we really emphasize on these words over and over again, these sentences over and over again, the child starts using it in their writing work, right? So this is what I wanted to talk in my first part of the video. In my second part, I want to first I would like to show you how things started with us, and next I would like to give you a brief on this, because then you will understand that how one should start. Okay, so after this video, watch part 2 of the writing workshop video.